Alright, so I'm going to walk through my experience installing this TEMPWARE electric garage heater that I just purchased. I live in Twin Cities, Minnesota, so it's getting pretty cold here, and wanted to put a heater in my garage just to keep it above freezing. So by no means is this thing going to keep it at like 70 degrees or anything like that. I just want to keep my garage over freezing. So it's been installed for a couple weeks now. Works great. It was pretty quick and dirty install. Couple notes before I play the video. One, I already had a 240 volt breaker in my electric cabinet for my table saw. So I don't really use my table saw in the winter, so I just use that same plug and breaker. So if you don't already have a 240 volt, depends on how comfortable you are working in that breaker box. I'm personally not comfortable doing that, so I was happy that I already had one. And then you'll note during the video that the recommended gauge wire for this is actually 10 gauge, and I only use 12. But that's mainly because I knew here on the bottom, the first switch is 3,000 watts, second switch 4,000, and third switch is 5,000 watt. I'm never going to run this thing at 5,000 watts, and so I did the math, and I know that at 3,000 or 4,000 watts, 12 gauge is going to be just fine. And then also the listing suggests a 30 amp breaker where my breaker is only a 20. But again, as I know I'm not going to be running it at that 5,000 watt, I know in my case that's okay. But keep a note. Had it running at 4,000 watts for weeks now. No issues, no trips. Yeah, it's a nice little heater. It's a quick install, and the thing's been pumping out heat real good. So yeah, definitely recommend it if you're looking for a small little heater. Alright, let's see what's in this heater box. Packaging's real solid. Just a little guy. Alrighty. So since I have to wire this, I'm assuming really all that's going to be in here will be the heater itself. Some instructions. And the arm it's going to sit on. And a little bit of hardware. Simple enough. Alright, so for this heater, I want to put her right about there. But I know there's 23 inches between my ceiling joists. So I'm going to put something in it because I don't want to put it straight. Something at an angle here. Put this little scrap piece of wood. Nice little fit for that. So I'll put that scrap piece of wood at the angle I want. Screw it into the ceiling joist and then put the heater up there. Alright, so I've got my ceiling joist marked. There's a mark there, and there's a mark over there. And I've got my marks on my wood, so I'm gonna go ahead and drill some countersinks and get this board put up there. Alright, so we got the anchor board up there. Next we'll put up the mounting arm. Alright, now we got the mounting arm up there. And next we'll see if we can get the heater up there. Now, usually I would just open her up, see what happens, but we'll check the instructions and see how we actually wire it. Alrighty, so according to the instructions, we need to pop this bottom cover off. So we'll need our handy dandy Phillips screwdriver and take out 6 of these screws. I was wrong, there were 8. Okay, we're in. Thanks to the instructions. Alright, so we've got our connections there, grounds over here, positive, negative. Got my cord pre-set up. A lot more cord on it than I need. So I'm gonna cut it off. Probably only about 2 feet long. And it says to use 10 gauge. I think this is 10 gauge. I'm not too concerned because I'm never gonna use the 5,000 watt setting on this thing. So should be good. There's a little punch outs that I'm gonna go through for the wiring. So yeah, pretty neat. All right, so we got our plug wired on. to confirm it is only 12 gauge wire, but like I said, I'm never gonna use it at the 5,000 watt setting, so I'm not concerned. All right, well, we got it up there. Not the most enjoyable single person job, but doable. Now let's plug it in and see what happens. All right, so pro tip, make sure it's off when you plug it in, because that was kind of scary. It works. It turned right on right away. See the power button. So yeah, I'll give her a turn her on and see how hot she gets.